Okay, I'm on the ground again, and actually now it's after 9 o'clock, a little later than I normally come on the street. And I have a special guest here with me. Well, everyone is special. I have Shortman. Hey, Shortman, yeah. That's one of my friends who operate across the road, and I also have
man, that name, one heart. You ain't gonna know what them thing there.
Well, everybody says has several names.
Wait. Did you really recognize what?
You understand? You understand? You realize you can't believe. What heart are you?
I just asked him.
Yeah.
Because I hear the name. I know the name.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I was saying, no, it can't be the person who I know.
Yeah, the person who you know. So Fitz, I mean, don't worry if I address your Fitz because you're already Fitz. Alright?
That's my name, Fitz, man.
Fitz.
Your experiences with the eruption, I don't know if you're here for 1979.
Oh yeah, I was here in 79. I was a youngster living in Beckley at the time. And you know, at that time it was just excitement for me. We young and feel that we're indefatigable and nothing could happen to us. But now this is a different situation, you know, because you see life differently. I'm older, and I've had different experiences, and this is really this is huge. This is huge. What I'm heartened about though is the fact that the resilience of our people and that natural ability for us to just come together. You know, we just know how to just come together and help out. Like yesterday, for example, a truck was going up Sion Hill with some tanks of water, and one of the tanks collapsed on the truck and he couldn't go any further. I told him, look, just back up on the side of the road and the people in Sion Hill come and get water. And within a matter of 2 minutes, I mean, the whole village don't reach out. You know, so we gotta hold on to each other and really support each other in this particular situation, because had it not been for our private citizens and individuals and organizations, this would have been even a worse nightmare. Sad to say, the whole process to me is too centralized, and NEMO needs assistance. NEMO needs a resource boost. Of course, some logistical things need to be worked out as well. But all in all, I think NEMO is doing they're really trying hard given the circumstances, but I think they need more help. And the help can only come if you involve everybody. It has to be an inclusive process. You can't just try to hack this thing because, you know, you think that you're this or you're that. This has to be an inclusive process. Otherwise, the challenge is going to become more and more insurmountable. It's going to be it's become more and more difficult for us to deal with. So let me put aside the petty politics, let me put aside the egos, put aside whatever agendas we have and just come together. If I have the expertise in something that is needed, just grab me and let me go. Forget about the politics, forget about all this bureaucratic nonsense. This is a disaster, it's an emergency. You don't have time to go and sit down in a meeting and plan all the time. Sometimes you gotta go on the fly. And that is what I want to see more of happening. You know what I mean? So our people gotta understand that we have our own part to play. Yes, it's frustrating, especially for the people in the shelters and so on. Let's exercise a level of patience as much as we can and do what we can do. Don't sit down and wait on the Prime Minister. Don't sit down and wait on the government. They have their role to play as well. But whatever we can do to make life easier for ourselves and our neighbors and the people from the shelters and so, let's do it. Let's do it. God got us in the palm of our hands. I firmly believe that. You know, so let us just allow him to take us where he wants to take us.
Well, you spoke about the people in the shelter, but I think there's a sector of the population that most persons are not focusing on. And they were affected seriously by COVID-19 as it relates to their employment,
right,
and even their take-home pay. And now with the eruption, they may be living in their own homes, but they too have challenges. How do you suggest that we try to reach out and make sure that those persons are taken care of also?
Well, we're going to have to put programs in place. Monies are coming in, and monies will continue to come in. International partners and friends and donors and governments will continue to help us. I don't know where we are now in terms of the amount of financial contribution that we have gotten thus far. But I recall the Prime Minister saying he has a $76 million disaster reserve fund or something like that. for a rainy day, so to speak. So when is the rainy day again? Now is the rainy day. We gotta start. Yes, man. Irie, everything good? Yeah, man. We gotta start to use up that money there now because this is the rainy day. So whilst the people in the shelter are priority right now, I think, as you quite rightly said, there's this vulnerable group or these vulnerable people. In my constituency of East Kingstown, for example, we have set up a collection point at Marion House. I've established an East Kingstown emergency response team. It's non-political. I mean, I'm the representative, so yeah, I'm involved, but it's non-political. And Marion House is our center of operation. Anybody who has anything to donate, we'll send it to Marion House and then we will pack up and distribute. And I have impressed upon the team that we need to focus on people in the constituency who need help as well. Not because they're not in the red zone, not because they didn't have to leave their homes. They are struggling just as well. So we got to identify them, try to provide at least some temporary relief immediately as we plan how we're going to do it in the long run. But certainly, we were already in a very bad state with COVID. This has worsened the situation, so our response has to be more aggressive and more well thought out and more inclusive. Stop leaving out people out of the process because of politics. Get everybody involved so we can take this country, mitigate against this disaster and try to move forward as long as God allows us to, because once the Sufi continues to erupt, then, you know, the whole process of rebuilding and so on is going to take a while longer and it's going to become even more difficult.
You're parliamentarian now, but your previous job, you're a town planner?
No, I was an economic development coordinator in Canada.
And that skill set is needed especially now.
Exactly. And I am, you know me, people know me. I do what I have to do for my country. But the problem is, what is so frustrating is that it seems as long as you're not in a particular situation and you don't speak a particular language, you get ostracized, you get pushed out of the process. In my case, I don't let that bother me too much because there are different ways of getting involved and contributing to the developmental process. But at some point, especially now, given the magnitude of this, resources are needed. And if the government has resources, which they do, then distribute and circulate and you know, divvy up the resources so that different people can be involved in the process. Empower people is what they need to do. You need to empower people so that the people who you're empowering can help to take us forward. No one person or individual or organization can do this. It must be a concerted, unified effort. And that is my frustration. We still playing politics. As Sufi erupting, we still playing politics. Come on. You know?
Mr. Bramble, that was more than a mouthful, and I thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll chat again soon.
Yeah, Wayne, no problem,
okay,
man, and stay safe, everybody.
Okay, I'm hitting the streets again. What do you call it? Bring something from here? Yeah, it's Friday morning, and most of the stores are up and running. The retailers of farm produce. How you doing? Tell me.
Come and buy some vegetables. I see you doing a live.
Yeah.
Come and spend some money. That's what we're here for.
Well, I passed through here earlier this morning already.
You spent already?
Yeah.
Come and spend more. Come and buy.
I hear you.
Okay, then have a good day. Continue.
But tell me, do you do your own farming or you just a reseller?
Both.
And how will the eruption affect you as a farmer?
Wow, tremendously. About 95% of the crops destroyed, especially vegetables.
So you lost 95%
No, I
of
said
it?
droughts in Vincent.
Droughts in Vincent.
About 95% of the fruits and especially vegetables.
But in the future you could look for bumper crops from your farm because of the ash will come and enrich the soil?
Let me hear you. I didn't hear you.
Now in the future you could look for bumper crops because most likely the ash will enrich the soil.
Exactly. In the next 3 months or so, you'll see a lot of vegetables. Once the thing is up, and farmers are able to go back and replant, in the next 3 months we should see a lot of vegetables in the market.
Well,
Because our farmers are resilient, so by the next 3 months or so, once this thing is up, we'll see a lot of stuff.
let's hope that would be the case because based on what was said, it appears if the eruptions won't stop right now.
But farmers will go back in. Farmers will go back in. Our people are going to wait until this thing stops coming. They will go back in and try and because people have to eat and they have to survive.
Okay, I hear you.
Yes.
Your name and where you from?
Well, I'm from Chumuka, Ariston.
Or Chumaka?
Yes.
And that area was seriously impacted by the eruption.
Throughout North Leeward.
Throughout North
The entire
Leeward.
North constituency.
Okay, well, hopefully I'll see you back here next week.
Yes, man. You're
And
gonna
I
see
hope you will be able to get back into your farm and start production as soon
most
as
definitely
possible.
soonest.
Okay.
Yeah, man. All the
Thanks,
best.
man.
Yeah, come on.
Just to give you an idea. The market is closed, so most of the farmers and resellers are operating from outside. Morning. And this is the